A perfect relationship isn't perfect, it's just that both people never gave up. A good relationship is when someone accepts your past, supports your present, and encourages your future. Integrity is choosing your thoughts and actions based on values rather than personal gain. Worry about your character, not your reputation. Your character is who you are, and your reputation is who people think you are. One of the great things about being willing to try new things and make mistakes is that making mistakes keeps you humble. People who are humble learn more than people who are arrogant. Great things are done by a series of small things brought together. Perfection is impossible. Just try to do your best. Be righteous, be articulate, be different, be distinct, be happy. You cannot force a person to show you respect, but you can refuse to be disrespected. When you tolerate disrespectful people, you disrespect yourself. I speak to everyone in the same way, whether he is the garbage man or the president of the university. Respect is for those who deserve it, not for those who demand it. Respect those who respect themselves. Good manners will often take people where neither money nor education will take them. Friends and good manners will carry you where money won't go. The hardest job kids face today is learning good manners without saying any. May you reach that level within where you no longer allow your past or people with toxic intentions to negatively affect or condition you. As you remove toxic people from your life, you free up space and emotional energy for positive, healthy relationships. Letting go of toxic people in your life is a big step in loving yourself. Growing up means realizing a lot of your friends aren't really your friends. Excellence is not a skill, it's an attitude. Force has no place where there is need of skill. Luck is where skill meets persistence. The greatest communication skill is paying value to others. Knowledge is not a skill. Knowledge plus 10,000 times is a skill. We never know the beauty of the rainbow unless we see it. Successful people don't waste their time gazing at the rainbow as their success is more glorious than the rainbow. Success is like the rainbow. It exposes itself to the people for a short duration and vanishes and it appears again. Just because the storm is raging doesn't mean a beautiful rainbow isn't just over the horizon. Stay positive, work hard, make it happen. Be so busy improving yourself that you have no time to criticize others. Failure is success in progress. The key to success is to start before you are ready. Success is the sum of all small efforts repeated day in and day out. The key to success is to focus on goals, not obstacles. Each failure brings you one step closer to success. If you focus on failure, you can never succeed. Whatever you focus on, you create. If your dreams don't scare you, they are too small. Your past doesn't equal your future. Ability is what you are capable of doing. Motivation determines what you do. Attitude determines how well you do it. The beauty of life doesn't depend on how happy you are, but how happy others can be because of you. Most people are searching for happiness outside of themselves. That's a fundamental mistake. Happiness is something you are, and it comes from the way you think. Just because I post something doesn't mean I'm going through it. I might just like the quotes. Only people who are not happy with themselves are mean to others. Remember that. Women fight for what they love, the things they care for. So if she stops fighting, you are getting dangerously close to losing her. A wise man never knows all, only fools know everything. There is a lot of hate in the world. No one knows what he can do till he tries. It's well for one to know more than he says. Theatre is more exciting in the sense that you can actually see the audience in the eye. You know there are no takes and retakes. You have one chance to do your job and you better do it well. Start by doing what's necessary, then do what's possible, and suddenly you are doing the impossible. Wanting to be liked means being a supporting character in your own life, using the cues of the actors around you to determine your next line rather than your own script. It means that your self-worth will always be tied to what someone else thinks about you, forever out of your control. I don't blame you for hurting me. I blame myself for thinking you wouldn't. A mistake is an accident. Cheating and lying are not mistakes, they are intentional choices. Never underestimate the power of my intuition. I recognize your game even before you play it. A man should never neglect his family for business. Children are not a distraction from more important work. They are the most important work. The greatest thing a father can do for his daughter is to love her mother. He is never going to be the man you want him to be because you are not the woman he wants to be with. No woman wants a man who has his eyes on every woman. A lying man will never be able to handle an honest woman. If someone really loves you, no matter how many other people they meet, their feelings for you won't change. A real lover can't be stolen. When you truly love someone, being faithful is easy. Never stop teasing and flirting with each other. Keep on having fun and being naughty, no matter how long you have been together. I love you means that I accept you for the person that you are and that I don't wish to change you into someone else. It means that I don't expect perfection from you just as you don't expect it from me. I love you means that I love you and stand by you even through the worst of times. It means loving you when you are in a bad mood or too tired to do the things I want to do. It means loving you when you are down, not just when you are fun to be with. I want the film to start when you leave the auditorium. Beautiful homes are made by beautiful homemakers. Sometimes it's too late to make things right. Sometimes we hurt others more than we realize. Sometimes a smile fades in front of our eyes. And sometimes we are the reason for tears in someone's eyes. Never treat anyone the way you don't want to be treated. Love life and love the ones around you. People talk behind your back for three main reasons: when they can't reach your level, when they don't have what you have, when they try to copy you but can't. Women get to a point in their life where it's not about sex anymore. It's about having a real man to love, trust, and have her back. Breaking someone's trust is like crumpling up a perfect piece of paper. You can smooth it over, but it's never going to be the same again. A good, loyal woman is one of the greatest things a man can have in his life, but it takes a real man to realize that. I want you to know that I'm always going to be here for you, whether you are sad, happy, or just insanely horny. As soon as you feel too old to do a thing, do it. There's a lot of bad things going on, but I didn't do nothing. There is something to be said for doing one thing right. The benefits of knowledge can only be realized in practice. Belief can be manipulated, only knowledge is dangerous. There is danger in both belief and unbelief. If you believe in a cause, you must be willing to put yourself on the line for that cause. Life simply is. It follows its course. Give yourself to the moment. Let life reveal itself to you. If you truly believe in yourself and your skills, most times it's enough. Believe in yourself, push your limits, experience life, conquer your goals, and be happy. There's something to be said for doing one thing right. Being with you never felt wrong. It's the one thing I did right. You are the one thing I did right. It's better to waste money than time. You can always get more money. Waste neither time nor money, but make the best use of both. Never stop doing little things for others. Sometimes those little things occupy the biggest part of their heart. Relationships don't need promises, terms, and conditions. It just needs two wonderful people, one who can trust and one who can understand. Good relationship doesn't need promise, terms, and conditions. It just needs a she who can trust and a he who can be loyal. Have a relationship so good that everyone is jealous of it. Perfection itself is imperfection. Attitude is a little thing that makes a big difference. Your attitude determines your direction. Our attitude towards life determines life's attitude towards us. If they respect you, respect them. If they disrespect you, still respect them. Don't allow the actions of others to decrease your good manners, because you represent yourself, not others. If you don't respect your own wishes, no one else will. You will simply attract people who disrespect you as much as you do. When someone disrespects you, beware the impulse to win their respect, for disrespect is not a valuation of your worth but a signal of their character. Good manners open the closed doors, bad manners close the open doors. Good manners will open doors that the best education cannot. The sign of a person who has had an education is good manners. The less you respond to rude, critical, argumentative people, the more peaceful your life will become. When someone is rude and toxic, remember it's not about you. It's a reflection of their inner state. Pay no attention to toxic words. What people say is often a reflection of themselves, not you. Some of the most poisonous people come disguised as friends and family. 5 ways to tell if your friends are toxic. Do they make you feel bad about yourself? Do you have to change the way you act in front of them? Do they use their power to control you? Do they drain you emotionally and mentally? Do you feel trapped in a vicious cycle? If you answered yes to any of these questions, you may be a victim of a toxic friendship. A toxic friend will disrespect your boundaries, cause unnecessary drama, accuse you of things that they are guilty of, make snide remarks, judge you, play the victim, make nasty comments about your loved ones, is jealous of your achievements and disregards your feelings and emotions. Success is 20% skill and 80% strategy. You might know how to read, but more importantly, what's your plan to read? My best skill was that I was coachable. I was a sponge and aggressive to learn. Learn to hide your need and show your skill. Heal the world, stop the hate, lend a helping hand to those in need. Fear of something is at the root of hate for others, and hate within will eventually destroy the hater. Hate is too great a burden to bear. It injures the hater more than it injures the hated. Push yourself because no one else is going to do it for you. I get it, excuses are comforting, but the first step of change is to be aware of your own bullshit. Success is achieved and maintained by those who try and keep trying. Out of the mountain of despair, a stone of hope. How beautiful it is to stay silent when someone expects you to be enraged. Just be happy, it drives people crazy. Beautiful things happen when you distance yourself from negativity. Life is too short, so love your life, be happy and keep smiling. Before you speak, listen. Before you write, think. Before you spend, earn. Before you pray, forgive. Before you hate, love. Before you quit, try. Before you die, leave. There are only two ways to live your life. One is as though nothing is a miracle. The other is as though everything is a miracle. Things are only impossible until somebody does what another believes can't be done. Positivity is like a boomerang. The more we put it out there, the more it comes back to us. Best advice in 2 lines. Silence is the best answer for all questions. Smiling is the best reaction in every situation. Never try and defend yourself against a narcissist. They already know you are right. They just want you to go crazy trying to prove it. Sometimes you just have to play the role of a fool to fool the fool who thinks they are fooling you. Being rich is having money, being wealthy is having time. She is woman, she is mother, daughter, wife, sister, she is a person. She is strong, smart, crafty, she is passionate, courageous, generous. Cooking barefoot is only one of several superpowers. She is action, emotion, devotion. She has a beauty power. She has a brain and she knows how to use it. She gives you life. She gives you respect, love, gratitude. She believes in you. She will nurture you, fight for you. She deserves nothing less from you. Men aren't stupid, and you don't need a complicated set of rules to find a good one who loves you. Here's the only rule you need. If a man loves you, he'll do anything. He can't keep you around anything. If he is hurting you intentionally, he doesn't love you. No excuses, no if, ands, or buts. He doesn't love you. Sometimes, no matter how nice you are, how kind you are, how caring you are, how loving you are, it just isn't enough for some people. I used to think that the worst thing in life was to end up alone. It's not. The worst thing in life is to end up with people who make you feel alone. Most relationships don't die from natural causes. They are killed by selfishness, neglect, lack of consideration, lies, and secrets. I feel like I bothered people just by being alive. If they act like they can live without you, help them do it. Be humble in your confidence, yet courageous in your character. I can definitely be tough when pushed. In relationships, you have to take a stand for who you are and how you are willing to be treated. If you create a relationship that's based to some extent on support and money, it creates an entirely different relationship because people are going to be behaving in certain ways to please you and not in their natural way. If a relationship has enough trust, honesty, and understanding, it should never require promises, terms, and conditions. The real test is being kind to unkind people. Be kind to unkind people, they need it the most. To be kind is more important than to be right. Many times, what people need is not a brilliant mind that speaks, but a heart that listens. What feels wrong sometimes ends up being right. You are that part of me I'll always need. I'm very indecisive and always have trouble picking my favorite anything, but without a doubt, you are my favorite everything. There is something wrong with your character if opportunity controls your loyalty. Be more concerned with your character than with your reputation. Time is not money, time is worth way more than money. The biggest difference between money and time, you always know how much money you have, but you never know how much time you have. Never stop doing little things for others. Sometimes those little things occupy the biggest part of their heart. Sometimes the wrong choices bring us to the right places. What kills me is that everybody thinks I like jazz. I never did one thing right in my life. You know that. Not one. That takes skill. Be different, be unique, be yourself. Be yourself. Everyone else is already taken. You can't believe how hard it is to be yourself. Life isn't about finding yourself, it's about creating yourself. The good thing about directing yourself is that you get over yourself. Don't think less of yourself, just think less about yourself. You will become on the outside what you believe on the inside. The cause is hidden, the effect is visible to all. And unbelief is the belief of a lie. Truly great madness cannot be achieved without significant intelligence. Madness is the acme of intelligence. I am an acme of things accomplished and I am an closer of things to be. If I do something, it's always 90% obvious and 10% unknown. Only fools don't contradict themselves. One completely overcomes only what one assimilates. The best thing I did was learn to stop fighting for someone who was okay with losing me. People will notice the change in your attitude towards them but won't notice their behavior that made you change. Maturity is when someone hurts you and you try to understand their situation and don't hurt them back. When someone loves you, they don't have to say it. You can tell by the way they treat you. A woman can forget a man who broke her heart, but she can never forget the man who gathered the broken pieces, healed her soul, and made her smile again. Be that man in a woman's life. Some men think women want money, cars, and gifts, but the right woman wants a man's time, effort, passion, honesty, loyalty, smile, and him choosing to put her as his priority. I found my soulmate. I found my one true love. I found my one and only forever and always. I found that in you. You have filled all the colors in life. You have made my life so new. My reason of existence is only you, and I truly and purely love you. You have no idea how good it feels to wake up every morning knowing that you are mine and I'm yours. I love you. You can find better than me, worse than me, but you will never find someone like me. It's not always about sex. Sometimes the best type of intimacy is where you just lay back, laugh together at the stupidest things, hold each other and enjoy each other's company. A man's most precious jewel is the woman who walks by his side. Family first, work next, because there's no replacement for a family loss. No amount of money or success can take the place of time spent with your family. A woman can always tell if a man loves her by how much time he is willing to invest. Money spent is meaningless, but time spent is priceless. Nobody gets angrier than a narcissist being accused of something they definitely did. The most dangerous people are the liars who think they are telling the truth. Cry as hard as you want, but make sure when you stop crying, you never cry for the same reason again. If you love her, never fill her ears with lies, her mouth with words, her eyes with tears, her mind with confusion, or her heart with pain. Always remember, people only miss you when you look good or doing good. My mom told me a person who values you won't ever put themselves in a position to lose you. Only those who believe attempt the seemingly impossible. Only he who can see the invisible can do the impossible. It always seems impossible until it's done. Take a rest and the world catches up with you. Listen in life, keep moving. Choose the life that is noblest, for custom can make it sweet to thee. To make one, there must be two. Sad how some people believe their own lies and the stories they make up in their heads. Beauty is not who you are on the outside. It is the wisdom and time you gave away to save another struggling soul like you. Be an example. Show kindness to unkind people. Forgive people who don't deserve it. Love unconditionally. Your actions always reflect who you are. Shakespeare once said, I cried when I had no shoes, but I stopped crying when I saw a man without legs. Life is full of blessings. Sometimes we don't value it. Distance yourself from people who lie to you, disrespect you, use you, put you down. It's better to wait long than to marry wrong. Whatever makes your soul happy, do that. Happiness is not something you postpone for the future. It is something you design for the present. The past is your lesson, the present is your gift, the future is your motivation. Attitude is far more important than what happened to your past or what will be your future. Being who you are is what matters, not what you have done or will do. Understanding your past can help you to create a better future. The best way to predict your future is to create it. If you want to be successful, prepare to be doubted and tested. Success doesn't come and find you. You have to go out and get it. Success doesn't come from what you do occasionally. It comes from what you do consistently. If you are not fulfilled and happy, it's not success. Failure is not the opposite of success, it's part of success. Never consider the possibility of failure. As long as you persist, you will be successful. If you want a rainbow, you must first go through the rain. There is always a rainbow at the end of every rain. Stay positive. Rainbows often appear when you least expect them and need them most. Let your happiness be known to the world like a stunning rainbow. Life is like a rainbow. You need both rain and sun to make its colors appear. Don't seek to be happy. Let everyone else chase after that rainbow. Seek to be kind and you'll find the rainbow follows you. There's a lot of hate in the world. When it comes to mastering a skill, time is the magic ingredient. Time is more valuable than money. You can get more money, but you cannot get more time. Excellence is not a skill. Excellence is an attitude. Build your skills, not your resume. The future belongs to those who learn more skills and combine them in creative ways. A true friend will not treat you like a doormat. Don't let negative and toxic people rent space in your head. Raise the rent and kick them out. Removing toxic people from your life is actually not the difficult part. Not feeling guilty about it is. Never respond to rudeness. When people are rude to you, they reveal who they are, not who you are. Don't take it personally. Be silent. Maturity doesn't mean age. It means sensitivity, manners, and how you react. Many people are educated but not totally mannered. How people treat other people is a direct reflection of how they feel about themselves. Show respect even to people who don't deserve it, not as a reflection of their character but as a reflection of yours. People need to understand that if they don't respect themselves, then no one will respect them. Respect is earned by action alone, not self-gratification. Try not to become a person of success, but rather try to become a person of value. Be the presence, not the person. Presence is infinite, unbound by anything. It's open, spacious, silent, empty, and forever aware, focused on nothing and yet intrinsically in tune with the totality of its environment. If you don't respect me, simply ignoring you is a relief. Behavior is the mirror in which everyone shows their image. The attitude is very important because your behavior radiates how you feel. The most important thing you'll ever wear is your attitude. Ambition is priceless. It's something that's in your veins. Imperfection is fine. ऑनरेबल व्यूअर्स, अगर आप मेरे चैनल को ग्रोथ देना चाहते हैं तो आप इस नीचे दिए गए सुपर थैंक्स बटन को क्लिक करके मेरे चैनल की मदद कर सकते हैं। शुक्रिया। Those words are not only evil in themselves, but they infect the soul with evil. Evil, when we are in its path, is not felt as evil but as a necessity or even a duty. We define ourselves by the best that is in us, not the worst that has been done to us. We are always in a perpetual state of being created and creating ourselves. War contains so much folly as well as wickedness that much is to be hoped from the progress of reason. How many does it take to metamorphose wickedness into righteousness? If you had better sense, you would have learned by now that nothing thrives so well as wickedness. I think it's one of the kindest things you can do to the very wicked to give them time to repent. Politics is the last resort of scoundrels, has become resort is the last place for political scoundrels. War should be the politics of last resort, and when we go to war, we should have a purpose that our people understand and support. War is evil, but it is often the lesser evil. If I fished only to capture fish, my fishing trips would have ended long ago. Many men go fishing all of their lives without knowing that it is not fish they are after. Nothing makes a fish bigger than almost being caught. The true soldier fights not because he hates what is in front of him, but because he loves what is behind him. Wherever there is a human being, there is an opportunity for kindness. The first casualty of war is innocence. War doesn't determine who is right, only who is left. War is never a lasting solution for any problem. Be willing to lose a battle in order to win the war. Lose this battle so we can win the war. War is a quarrel between two thieves too cowardly to fight their own battle. The quickest way of ending a war is to lose it. A rich man is either a scoundrel or the heir of a scoundrel. Patriotism is the last refuge of the scoundrel. Patriotism is usually the refuge of the scoundrel. He is the man who talks the loudest. Wicked companions invite us to hell. Hint at the existence of wickedness in a light, easy and agreeable manner so that nobody's fine feelings may be offended. Revenge may be wicked, but it's natural. Vanity Fair is a very vain, wicked, foolish place, full of all sorts of humbugs and falsenesses and pretensions. The wicked are always ungrateful. The wickedness of mankind makes it necessary for the Lord to suppose them better than they really are. The real test of business greatness is in giving opportunity to others. To be great is to assume great concerns. Businesses always have opportunities to improve service, product lines, manufacturing techniques and the like, and obviously these opportunities should be seized. But a business that constantly encounters major change also encounters many chances for major error. The less satisfaction we derive from being ourselves, the greater is our desire to be like others. The soul that has conceived one wickedness can nurse no good thereafter. I like to fish. Fishing is always a way of relaxing. Fishing is a discipline in the equality of men, for all men are equal before the fish. We are like islands in the sea, separate on the surface but connected on the deep. Men and fish are alike, they both get into trouble when they open their mouths. Fishing is a way to be at peace with the world and oneself. There is a fine line between fishing and just standing on the shore like an idiot. The sea, once it casts its spell, holds one in its net of wonder forever. If the ocean can calm itself, so can you. We are both salt water mixed with air. Meet me where the sky touches the sea. Smell the sea and feel the sky. Let your soul and spirit fly. Dance with the waves, move with the sea. Let the rhythm of the waters set your soul free. In every outthrust headland, in every curving beach, in every grain of sand, there is the story of the earth. At the beach, life is different. Time doesn't move hour to hour, but mood to moment. We live by the currents, planned by the tides, and follow the sun. If the ocean can calm itself, so can you. We are both salt water mixed with air. The waves of the sea help me get back to me. I miss the beach, the peace it brings you. I love the sound and smell of the sea. Live in the sunshine, swim the sea, drink the wild air. To me, the sea is a continual miracle. The fishes that swim, the rocks, the motion of the waves, the ships with men in them, what stranger miracles are there. Let the waves hit your feet and the sand be your sea. Every time I stand before a beautiful beach, its waves seem to whisper to me, if you choose the simple things and find joy in nature's simple treasures, life and living need not be so hard. Every time I stand before a beautiful beach, its waves seem to whisper to me, if you choose the simple things and find joy in nature's simple treasures, life and living need not be so hard. The ocean is everything I want to be, beautiful, mysterious, wild and free. The beach is not always a place, sometimes it's a feeling. A cup of tea, Nanin, a Japanese master during the Meiji era, 1868 to 1912, received a university professor who came to inquire about Zen Nan in soft tea. He poured his visitor's cup full and then kept on pouring. The professor watched the overflow until he no longer could restrain himself. It is overfull. No more will go in like this cup, Nanin said. You are full of your own opinions and speculations. How can I show you Zen unless you first empty your cup? Life is a beach, find your way. Sky above, sand below, peace within. The real enjoyment is on the beach and in the encounter with the water and with the way the sand heals the soul. In the end, only three things matter: how much you love, how gently you live, and how gratefully you let go of things not meant for you. All conditioned things are impermanent. When one sees this with wisdom, one turns away from suffering. You should sit in meditation for 20 minutes a day. Unless you are too busy, then you should sit for an hour. Hard to restrain, unstable is this mind. It flits wherever it lists. Good. It is to control the mind. A controlled mind brings happiness. Once upon a time there was an old farmer who had worked his crops for many years. One day his horse ran away. Upon hearing the news, his neighbors came to visit. Such bad luck, they said sympathetically. Maybe, the farmer replied. The next morning the horse returned, bringing with it 3 other wild horses. How wonderful, the neighbors exclaimed. Maybe, replied the old man. The following day, his son tried to ride one of the untamed horses, was thrown and broke his leg. The neighbors again came to offer their sympathy on his misfortune. Maybe, answered the farmer. The day after, military officials came to the village to draft young men into the army. Seeing that the son's leg was broken, they passed him by. The neighbors congratulated the farmer on how well things had turned out. As a bee gathering nectar doesn't harm or disturb the color and fragrance of the flower, so do the wise move through the world. Meditation, the invisible power of thoughts. My thoughts on meditation. Most people don't understand meaning of meditation. They think that listening to calm music or going to a calm places like Himalayas or other places is meditation. But meditation is observing what is going in our body and understanding the truth. It can be done anywhere and there is no instrument required. Meditation means the capacity to be joyously alone. Meditation is being in tune with our inner energy source. Meditation is the dissolution of thoughts in eternal awareness or pure consciousness without objectification, knowing without thinking, merging finitude in infinity. Where there is dhyan, meditation, internal state of being, there is no egoism, and where there is egoism, there is no dhyan. Real love is someone who won't stay mad at you, who can't stand not talking to you, and who is afraid of losing you. Love yourself instead of loving the idea of other people loving you. Negativity, it can only affect you if you are on the same frequency. When you're happy with someone in private, you don't need to prove it on social media. Your mind is a constant traffic of thoughts and it is always rush hour day in, day out. Meditation means to watch the movement of thoughts in the mind. Being there isn't the same as belonging there. One day a rich dad took his son on a trip to village. He wanted to show him how poor someone can be. They spent time on the farm of a poor family. Dad asked, "Did you see how poor they are? What did you learn?" Son said, "We have 1 dog, they have 4. We have pool, they have rivers. We have lanterns at night, they have stars. We buy foods, they grow theirs. We have walls to protect us, they have friends. We have encyclopedias, they have Bible." Then they headed. "Thanks, Dad, for showing me how poor we are." Moral lesson: it's not about money that makes us rich. It's about simplicity of having God in our lives. 10 steps to success. Try again. Try once more. Try a little differently. Try it again tomorrow. Try and ask for help. Try to find someone who has done it. Try to fix what is not working. Try to expand what is working. Just keep trying until you succeed. Don't say something you regret out of anger. There once was a little boy who had a very bad temper. His father decided to hand him a bag of nails and said that every time the boy lost his temper, he had to hammer a nail into the fence. On the first day, the boy hammered 37 nails into that fence. The boy gradually began to control his temper over the next few weeks, and the number of nails he was hammering into the fence slowly decreased. He discovered it was easier to control his temper than to hammer those nails into the fence. Finally, the day came when the boy didn't lose his temper at all. He told his father the news, and the father suggested that the boy should now pull out a nail every day. He kept his temper under control. The days passed, and the young boy was finally able to tell his father that all the nails were gone. The father took his son by the hand and led him to the fence. Today I asked my mentor, a very successful businessman in his 70s, what his top 3 tips are for success. He smiled and said, read something no one else is reading, think something no one else is thinking, and do something no one else is doing. Always have a unique character like salt. Its presence is not felt, but its absence makes everything tasteless. When you are a good person, you don't lose people, they lose you. Galileo Galilei, 1564 to 1642, Italian astronomer, scientist and philosopher who played a leading role in the scientific revolution. Galileo improved the telescope and made many significant discoveries in astronomy. His findings encouraged him to speak out for the Copernican view that the earth revolved around the sun. However, his views were considered heretical and he was placed under house arrest. His greatest scientific works included 2 new sciences about kinetics and the strength of materials. Marie Curie was the first woman of the degree in physics, the first woman to graduate in France, the first woman to obtain a Nobel Prize, the first woman to obtain a chair at the Sorbonne, the first scientist to obtain 2 Nobel Prizes. Who is Gregor Mendel? Mendel was born in 1822 in Austria. His father was a peasant farmer tenanted to a local aristocrat who was very interested in scientific crop improvement. The family was very poor. Mendel's early education was with local priests and teachers. Showed considerable academic capability and so was sent to larger town with more opportunities. Financial problems plagued him, affecting his health, so Mendel decided to enter monastery as means of support. Fear versus respect. Long time ago, very cruel king named Virat Singh was ruling the city of Vijayanagar. All citizens were fearful because of his cruelty. Virat has a dog named Jack, which he used to love more than anything. One fateful morning, Jack died. Virat Singh organized last rituals for dog. Entire city came to cremation ground. Virat Singh was very happy to see that people love him so much and he felt he is the most popular king in the world. After few days, Virat Singh died, but no one came for his funerals. Moral: respect is something you have to earn. You cannot force it. The little boy who was cursed. One day, not so long ago, there lived a very angry little boy. Everything in life and everything about life made him angry. The more angry he became, the more frustrated he became, and the more frustrated he became, well, that just made him more angry. He began to hurt the people around him who loved him the most. With each new insult and angry outburst, he was hurting those that cared. He wasn't seeing the consequences of his anger. He couldn't understand that his actions were causing others pain and hurt. He was too consumed by his own rage to even notice. After a particularly bad outburst, his mother had sent him to walk in the woods and think about things until he had calmed down. It was on this day, walking in the woods, that he met up with that was about to change his life for the better. ऑनरेबल व्यूअर्स, अगर आप मेरे चैनल को ग्रोथ देना चाहते हैं तो आप इस नीचे दिए गए सुपर थैंक्स बटन को क्लिक करके मेरे चैनल की मदद कर सकते हैं। शुक्रिया। If you cannot figure out where you stand with someone, it might be time to stop standing and start walking. I could start fires with what I feel for you. Light a fire they cannot put out. Outsmart a manipulator by putting out the fire with playing on that. Ignore, be boring, give nerdy deals, don't initiate contact. It will burn your fear, not the skin, so set ablaze the fire within. Never allow the same flame burn you twice. I will success in life, not immediately, but definitely. Only hard things are worth doing. If what you are doing is not hard, rethink what you are doing. Don't be afraid. Our fate cannot be taken from us. It is a gift. You can only do your best, and if they cannot appreciate that, it's their problem, not yours. Stop being afraid of what could go wrong and think of what could go right. Nothing is particularly hard if you break it down into small jobs. Holding on to anger is like grasping a hot coal with the intent of throwing it at someone else. You are the one who gets burned. I said I do and I did. You said I do and you didn't. Decide that you want it more than you are afraid of it. Don't be afraid to fail, be afraid not to try. You can only do your best, and if they cannot appreciate that, it's their problem, not yours. Shakespeare said, I always feel happy. You know why? Because I don't expect anything from anyone. Expectations always hurt. Life is short, so love your life. Be happy and keep smiling. Just live for yourself, and before you speak, listen. Before you write, think. Before you spend, earn. Before you pray, forgive. Before you hurt, feel. Before you hate, love. Before you quit, try. Before you die, leave. It may be hyperbolic to declare that Shakespeare teaches us more about being human than all the natural scientists combined. Decide that you want it more than you are afraid of it. If you are wrong, own up to what you didn't do right. That's how you learn and earn respect. You can't and you don't have to please everyone. A fine marksman is with a second-rate rifle is far more effective than the reverse. The rifle itself has no moral stature since it has no will of its own. Naturally, it may be used by evil men for evil purposes, but there are more good men than evil, and while the latter cannot be persuaded to the path of righteousness by propaganda, they can certainly be corrected by good men with rifles. If you find yourself in a fair fight, your tactics suck. Talent is like a marksman who hits a target which others cannot reach. Genius is like a marksman who hits a target which others cannot see. An unarmed man can only flee from evil, and evil is not overcome by fleeing from it. I do think that, for instance, we have been very lucky to have theatrical careers and be associated with Shakespeare, which sometimes gives you a kind of bogus kudos. Gossip needn't be false to be evil. There is a lot of truth that shouldn't be passed around. If all else fails, you could wait for the first corner and tie his dreadlocks to the goalpost. Let your attacker worry about his life. Don't hold back. Strike no more after he is incapable of further action, but see that he is stopped. Surely we have a responsibility to finally listen to and honor the siren calls of our souls, which have been silenced by our egos throughout our lives. How else can we connect with our essence, the source of our calling? Being pretty successful, I can of course afford some luxuries, but I realize again and again how we have to disillusion ourselves of the idea that these things are going to give us real satisfaction. A Tribe Called Quest was one of those things where it was supposed to be about growth. When I say growth, I don't just mean with our sound or our product, but Tribe was supposed to grow as individuals. There was no being displeased with such an encourager, for his admiration made him discern a likeness before it was possible. A successful person realizes his personal responsibility for self-motivation. He starts with himself because he possesses the key to his own ignition switch. I do support artists standing by their beliefs and walking with integrity. We have to find a better way to commercially exploit music while giving artists their proper respect. This cannot be done while taking their contributions for granted or trying to control the scope of their growth and power through threats and fear tactics. If time travel is possible, where are the tourists from the future? We would go back and maybe not say that thing to our dad that we said, or maybe be a little nicer to someone who we cared about and had a relationship with when we were young. You know, they are subtle things, but we carry those with us forever. And I think that regret and time travel are intrinsically linked to me. The desire to do different things was the main motivator that made me leave late night because I had been there 7 years. The combination of an entrepreneurial desire to see how far I could push my success and a short attention span. But now I have done other things, and I am sort of ready to sit somewhere and sit in the same place for a while. Everyone suffers some injustice in life, and what better motivation than to help others not suffer in the same way? I have a discipline that has served me very well in my career and in my personal life, and that's gotten stronger as I have gotten older. I have always felt if I don't just have a natural knack for it, I'll just out-discipline the competition if I have to work harder than anybody else. Time travel may be possible, but it's not practical. There is no heaven or afterlife for broken down computers. That is a fairy story for people afraid of the dark. Work gives you meaning and purpose, and life is empty without it. Intelligence is the ability to adapt to change. Life would be tragic if it weren't funny. However difficult life may seem, there is always something you can do and succeed at. People won't have time for you if you are always angry or complaining. It matters if you just don't give up. Never give up work. Work gives you meaning and purpose, and life is empty without it. Being emotional is by nature, but being practical is by practice. And only practice can help you to balance your emotions through your practical observations. Nature doesn't see things through the prism of good or bad. It rewards efficiency, that is the simplicity of evaluation, matching design to environment. Obviously, because of my disability, I need assistance. But I have always tried to overcome the limitations of my condition and lead as full a life as possible. I have traveled the world from the Antarctic to zero gravity. I was never top of the class at school, but my classmates must have seen potential in me because my nickname was Einstein. Painful transformations lead to beautiful destinations. Failure is an option here. If things are not failing, you are not innovating enough. Ability is what you are capable of. Motivation determines what you do. Attitude determines how well you do it. The attitude is very important because your behavior radiates how you feel. Turn your motivation into dedication. Ambition and motivation is key. A bad attitude is like a flat tire. You won't get anywhere until you change it. A positive attitude may not solve all your problems, but it will annoy enough people to make it worth the effort. There simply is no substitute for having your own positive attitude. I will face whatever comes today with a positive attitude. A great attitude to have in life is to learn how to be prepared for the worst but also know how to expect the best in life. Our attitude towards life determines life's attitude towards us. Today I will have a positive mindset. Learn to celebrate other people's success even before you begin to experience yours. Be happy for them, don't begrudge them. You can ask the Almighty to bless you with the same, but never be mean and wish ill upon them. A genuine heart is a great blessing, not many have it. A great attitude becomes a great mood, which becomes a great day, which becomes a great year, which becomes a great life. A boss creates fear, a leader confidence. A boss fixes blame, a leader corrects mistakes. A boss knows all, a leader asks questions. A boss makes work drudgery, a leader makes it interesting. A boss is interested in himself or herself. A leader is interested in the group. A great attitude becomes a great day, which becomes a great month, which becomes a great year, which becomes a great life. A great attitude becomes a great day. Sometimes man needs great failures today to accomplish great success tomorrow. It takes a mighty good man to be better than no man at all. No man is good enough to be another man's master. The really great man is the man who makes every man feel great. The influential man is the successful man, whether he be rich or poor. Behind every successful man, there is a lot of unsuccessful years. The man who has done less than his best has done nothing. Make more decisions, that's the only way to get better at it. Cherish all your happy moments, they make a fine cushion for old age. Everyone has a right to be a little happy, assure you. Choose the life that is noblest, for custom can make it sweet to thee. A man does not make his destiny, he accepts it or denies it. The awful thing about life is this, everyone has their reasons. There are a lot of good things that we can do. Maybe my example can help someone. People who don't make something good of what they have got are bound to end up desperate. Luck or tragedy, some people get runs, then of course there are those who divide it even good and bad. But we never hear of them, such a life doesn't demand attention. Only the people who get the good or bad runs. There must be something good in a thing that pleases so many. Even if it cannot be explained, it is certainly enjoyed. All that really belongs to us is time. Even he who has nothing else has that. You can fool people some of the time, but you can't fool them all of the time. Connect with people who remind you of what you truly are. I find you get out of people what you put into them. I think people enjoy finding out something genuinely new. You get ideas from other people all the time. Life has a funny way of helping you out when you think that everything's gone wrong. I think skills are more important than your degree. So work on your skills because skills show experience that a degree cannot. Elon Musk to the young and ambitious. Skills matter more than degrees. When you truly give up trying to be heard through others, you end up receiving what you always wanted from others. When I was a little kid, I was really scared of the dark. But then I came to understand dark just means the absence of photons in the visible wavelength 400 to 700 nanometers. Then I thought, well, it's really silly to be afraid of a lack of photons. Then I wasn't afraid of the dark anymore after that. It is possible for ordinary people to choose to be extraordinary. Formal education will make you a living. Self-education will make you a fortune. Starting and growing a business is as much about the innovation, drive and determination of the people behind it as the product they sell. Work like hell. Put in 100-hour weeks every week. If others are putting in 40 hours and you are putting in 100, even if you are doing the same thing, you will achieve in 4 months what it takes them a year. Elon Musk's 10 rules for success. Never give up. Really like what you do. Don't listen to the little man. Take a risk. Do something important. Focus on signal over noise. Look for problem solvers. Attract great people. Have a great product. Work super hard. Just having a degree in education is not enough. Maybe it is a passport to a job, but not to success. It is difficult, but not impossible, to conduct strictly honest business. Great works are performed not by strength but by perseverance. 80% of billionaires don't have a college degree. A successful business doesn't require a management degree, it just requires an innovative thought. Do you really need a college degree? Don't confuse schooling with education. I didn't go to Harvard, but the people working for me did. Men are wise in proportion not to their experience but to their capacity for experience. Success is where preparation and opportunity meet. Whatever makes you uncomfortable is your biggest opportunity for growth. Success is 10% inspiration and 90% perspiration. There are no secrets to success. It is the result of preparation, hard work, and learning from failure. Learn from failure. If you are an entrepreneur and your first venture wasn't a success, welcome to the club. If you focus on failure, you can never succeed. Whatever you focus on, you create. Each failure brings you one step closer to success. Failure is the first step towards success. Success breeds success and failure leads to a sort of fallow period. Success is best when it's shared. Success is not measured by who gets credit. Success is measured by what gets done. Every failure is a step to success. No one ever excused his way to success. Success isn't measured by what you achieve, it's measured by the obstacles you overcome. If your dreams don't scare you, they are too small. If your dream only includes you, it's too small. You must find your dream, then the way becomes easy. No one has ever achieved anything from the smallest to the greatest unless the dream was dreamed first. It's well we cannot hear the screams we make in other people's dreams. The great poem must have the stamp of greatness as well as its essence. The smallest deed is better than the greatest intention. The greater the doubt, the greater the awakening. That what appears to be egoism so often isn't. The seeds of greatness are ideas you learn from people who have been great in their service to others. Reverence for greatness dies out and is succeeded by base envy of greatness. Greatness as we daily see it is unsociable. Success always demands a greater effort. The play was a great success, but audience was a dismal failure. We must take care always to keep ourselves by suitable establishments in a respectable defensive posture. For every obstacle there is a solution. Persistence is the key. The greatest mistake is giving up. Our vision is only actionable if we share it. Without sharing, it's just a figment of our imagination. Success and failure are equally disastrous. You won't get anything unless you have the vision to imagine it. If you are doing the best you can, that's good enough. I am more interested in being good than being famous. Why do you look among the bad for those who are good? Popular and good and bad is not the same thing. Going in the wrong direction but making really good time. Be so good they cannot ignore you. The most important thing is to enjoy yourself and have a good time. The next best thing to saying a good thing yourself is to quote one. To fail to do good is as bad as doing harm. I have to be clear with myself and very conscious of what I am trying to say. Misunderstandings will always take place. It's unavoidable. No misery or bad situation is ever infinite or final until we make a conscious decision for it to be so. Going in the wrong direction but making really good time. But I must finally realize that I am subject to these sudden transformations. The thing is that I rarely think. A crowd of small metamorphoses accumulate in me without my noticing it. And then one fine day, a veritable revolution takes place. Sustainability for me is a process of daily living with the earth in mind. To create an extraordinary quality of life, you must create a vision that's not only obtainable but that is sustainable. Why do you look among the bad for those who are good? We now have exactly the same situation as we had at the start of the race, only exactly the opposite. It's not enough simply to record the way people actually talk. The dialogue must be concentrated, shaped, dramatically moving in a way that real life conversation seldom is. As soon as you are trying to be funny or dramatic, that's when things start feeling fake and boring. My biggest fear is doing the same things 10 years from now. That would be a failure. It's something you have to constantly reassess, and asking yourself what you are going to do next makes it a good, long, full journey. I learned that lesson a long time ago. When you write popular fiction, you are going to get bashed by critics. People tend to think when you are on dramatic films that it's also heavy, but it's really not when you are working with great actors. When you are in trouble, people who call to sympathize are really looking for the particulars. Set boundaries with energy vampires. Identify those who suck you dry and make you angry. Don't be reactive when they push your buttons. Set very clear limits. No is a complete sentence. Visualize a white light around yourself to keep their negative energy out. Signs of an energy vampire. They love drama. They bring you down. They exude charisma. They guilt trip you. They prey on your kindness. How to deal with energy vampires? Don't internalize their criticisms. Set clear boundaries. Don't expect them to be something they are not. Prioritize self-care. Be upfront and direct. Don't feed them by overreacting. Don't feel guilty for shutting them out. What is an energy vampire? Energy vampires are people who prey on the goodwill of others and suck out all of the positive energy in a relationship. While healthy relationships involve a give and take of both tangible and intangible resources, energy vampires mostly take. Although some energy vampires are unaware of the effects their behavior has on others, they can be just as draining. How to identify the energy vampire? You will experience the following symptoms of being overwhelmed: stressed, physically ill, example, headaches, body aches, etc. Mentally or physically exhausted, irritable and or anxious. You may notice that the energy vampire displays many of the following characteristics. Big ego, example, loves to debate, argue and pick fights. Aggressive or passive aggressive tendencies. Paranoia, resentment and anger issues. Narcissism, melodramatic behavior, winning and complaining, bitching and gossiping, insecurity, example, the constant need for reassurance and acceptance, manipulative behaviors, example, guilt tripping, emotional blackmail, etc., jealousy. How to deal with energy vampires? Ground yourself, shield yourself, hang out in groups of 3 or more, provide a listening ear, extend a helping hand, stick to light topics, reduce contact, cut them away from your life. Energy vampires are attracted to you because they unconsciously desire to resolve a deeper problem within their psyches, and they perceive you as the solution to their problems. Be kind, but be aware and don't be afraid to draw a line. Energy vampires seek you out because you are strong, competent, and wonderful to be around. It's this strength of character that will fortify you against them. An energy vampire can only drain you if you continue to let them. ऑनरेबल व्यूअर्स, अगर आप मेरे चैनल को ग्रोथ देना चाहते हैं तो आप इस नीचे दिए गए सुपर थैंक्स बटन को क्लिक करके मेरे चैनल की मदद कर सकते हैं।